So good morning and welcome everyone to this webinar being organized by ICMEI Social Auditors Organization. This is in continuation with the series of webinars which we have been organizing from time to time. We do almost about 2 webinars every month and at least 1 or 2 physical programs pan-India. That's the level of engagement that ICMEI SAO has in the domain of social stock exchange across the country. Today's program is focused on listing of NPOs on social stock exchange. As we all understand that now the NPOs have also been extended the benefit of connecting with the capital market. The process involves 2 stages. The first stage is registration, where an NPO which fulfills the eligibility criteria gets itself registered either with NSE or with BSE or with both of them. And the second part is that of going for listing or raising funds through the platform of social stock exchange. Now, once an NPO registers itself on social stock exchange, it takes care of and provides to the NPO the much needed credibility and visibility. Because once the process is initiated by the NPO, there is a thorough due diligence which happens at the level of social stock exchange, both NSE and BSE, and only after they are satisfied with the information furnished by the NPO that the exchange will finally register the NPO on the stock exchange. And once the NPO is registered, the name of the NPO starts appearing on the BSE and NSE website, and that automatically leads to build-up of credibility and visibility for the NPO. But then the third issue that the NPOs critically face in the marketplace is that of funding. They have to time and again look out for, go for, and connect with the donors, investors for getting funding for their various projects. And once they get a funding for one project 1 year, it is not necessary that the same set of donors, investors would continue to provide funds to them in the subsequent year also. So the capital market provides an alternate funding avenue. Please mark my words. I'm saying an alternate additional source of funding for the NPOs. We're not saying you cut away your association connection with the existing donors and investors. You continue to engage with them and take whatever funds they are able to provide to you. But over and above, additionally, there is an alternate source of fund available to the NPOs now, and that is by way of listing or raising of funds through the platform of social stock exchange. Of course, there is a process involved in the whole architecture of listing on the NPO, listing of NPOs on the social stock exchange, and that is what we're going to talk about in today's session. We have a learned speaker with us, Mr. Rakesh Tayal, who is a qualified social impact assessor, who will do a brief presentation and take us through the whole process of listing on the social stock exchange. And then we have Mr. Ramaswamy, founder director of Unnati Foundation, which is the only NPO in the country so far, which has gone in for 3 listings so far. They have approached the social stock exchange 3 times and they have been hugely successful. So he's going to talk to us with regard to his practical experience of having got the benefit of listing through the social stock exchange platform, which possibly could be a motivator and possibly will provide to us a lot of practical insights as to how to go about the whole process of listing. So thank you very much and welcome once again for joining this webinar. I would now request our first speaker, Mr. Rakesh Tayal, Social Impact Assessor, to kindly take us through the provisions, the eligibility criteria, and the whole process of listing, including the preparation of the draft fundraising document. Over to Mr. Tayal, please. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for the nice introduction. And happy Navratra to everyone. And this is the new year, Vikram Samvat 2083, starting today. And in the South India, we are celebrating Ugadi. In Maharashtra, we are having the Gudi Parva. In East, we have the Sahijibu Chereva. In Kashmir, we have the Navratri. So everywhere in India, today is the first year, and I'm grateful to Dr. Mukta that first year, first morning, we are starting with the charity ecosystem building, that how to get it done. And I'm fortunate enough to share the stage with you all, and also with the founder of Unnati Foundation, Dr. Ramaswamy, who has successfully listed 3 projects on the exchange. Hope so coming year will be great for every one of us, and each of us joining here will come with a projects, will be short funding on the exchange and build the ecosystem in the country to channelize the funding, to open the new sources of the funding for the charity purposes, or not for the charity purposes but for the nation building. Concept of social stake exchange is to show that NGOs are equal in the part of economy. They are equally contributing in the part of economy. They are not just doing the charity, but by way of this noble cause, they are building an ecosystem and contributing the economy by giving the employment to thousands of the people in the development sector, which still not recognized or which is still yet to be organized in a more structured way. And the social stock exchange is an attempt to cover that. With this, I will start my presentation. Again, the Happy New Year to everyone. I'm sharing my screen. Is my screen visible, sir?
Yes, please. Yes, please. Very much. Thank you.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yes, please. Visible.
So today's agenda is on the listing on the stock exchange. And when we come about the listing on the social stock exchange, we are talking about raising the funds through the stock exchange or the NSE or the BSE. The social stock exchange is just like the main SMEs, the part of the main board of the NSE and BSE. Just like the SME stock exchange is there, same way SSC stock exchange or SSC is there for the NGOs and for the profit organizations both. Here NGOs can bring their IPO. So here we are calling the IPO means they are bringing their DFRD or fundraising documents and get their project listed on the stock exchange. It doesn't mean that your NGO is going to be listed. The difference here is that your project, the particular project which has a minimum amount of 50 lakh rupees, that can be listed on the stock exchange. So first main difference between the IPO, when a company comes in, the company get listed on the stock exchange. Here the project of the NGO is getting listing on the stock exchange, and you can bring as many number of projects to be listed on the stock exchange as many you want. Like we mentioned in the introductory session, Unnati Foundation has so far bring 3 projects that got listed on the stock exchange. Shavdesh is also coming with the second listing project. So what is the benefit of listing your projects on the stock exchange? That also we are going to discuss in the coming session. What are the major benefits you are getting for the listing? We will discuss that. We will discuss the eligibility criteria. Also an amendment come in social stock exchange notifications that if an organization is registered, they have to bring or they have to list their projects within 2 years on the stock exchange, and else their registration will be cancelled. The basic motive of getting the NGOs registered on the stock exchange is to channelize the funding, to bring the credibility, to list the projects through the stock exchange only, so that awareness can become among the donors, and crowdfunding can be channelized through the stock exchange. That is the ultimate aim. That is the ultimate aim of the stock exchange, so that people can compare your projects of the different NGOs working in the same thematic area and will donate to that NGO which is bringing more efficiency or which is spending more efficient. As you see, up to 2022, so we all aware that sustainable development goals are signed in 2015, but it is not a new story. India is known for the giving nation, and we are since beginning or since our childhood known for these things. 2000 up to 1987 to 1997, the global or other countries open up, come up with the climate change, sustainable developments. That is the waking up period for the global economy. In that, we are also the part, we are not touch away, and the regulatory requirements from the wish to the law, we have to come up, and 2008 1 to 2022 is the regulatory framework has been made more stringent. The CSR, BRSR, NGO listings, these are also one of the part to bring the to save the planet and bring the social development goals. Social stock exchange is also a part of this. As you can see from the screen, in 2016, only 27% of the investors focus on the non-financial disclosures, but today, more than 75% of the investors look at the non-financial disclosure of the companies also. That is the importance of the non-financial disclosures or the NGOs. Why? Because the companies are also looking more and more towards the sustainability. And the CSR, the Companies Act, everything has been amended for the same. India has 33 lakhs NGOs, out of which 1.6 lakh NGOs are registered on the Darpan portal and only 70,000 have been the FCRA certificates. And a few, only handful are registered on the social stock exchange. Why we need the social stock exchange or to be registered and listed on the social stock exchange? Currently, the NGOs are governed by different laws and regulations. They can be Section 8 company, society, trust. So by having a same platform, their data, their projects can be easily comparable. The benchmark can be done on the same thematic area and qualitative and subjective outcomes can be compared. So far, we have 170 NGOs registered, 86 on NSC and 84 on BSC. Some are duplicate in this, both registered on both BSC and NSC. 15 projects now, as of now, have been successfully listed on the NSC, and 2 projects are on the BSC Social Stock Exchange. Whereas 46 projects are in the pipeline in the National Stock Exchange SSC, and 11 projects are on the BSC. So we have to work on the 360-degree ecosystems, demand side, supply side, as well as the infrastructure side. Now the question arises in our mind, what is the benefit of listing on the stock exchange? I assume most of us are registered on the stock exchange, and the benefit of registration is that they have increased their credibility, visibility, because it is a nationwide stock exchange. Everyone can see your credentials about your organization. They can see, they can reach your documents through the stock exchange. Benchmarking and standardization will become easier because there is a standard format of the reporting for each and every NGO to compare their projects. Once you got your project listed, so there is a sure funding available for that project. It means your project is not going to be disrupted in between in want of the fund. Talent, another main feature which is beneficial for the NGOs, that they can pool the talent. Today might be most of the NGOs face the challenge to have the professionals in their organization. But once your project is listed, they can say that we are in this listed NGO because that is known to the common public. From the state, from the district level to the state level, you will become overnight the national level NGO once your project is listed on the stock exchange. Scaling of operations. Another benefit is efficiency and accountability. So once you have to give the KPIs, you have to measure your outcome on the identifiable terms in advance. You have the time limits, so you are more accountable, more transparent, and that will bring in the efficiency in the system. Most of the NGOs mentioned that our accounts are prepared till 30th September. Though the financial disclosure also, SS Stock Exchange has extended timeline now from 90 days to 31st October in the recent amendments. But I believe the sooner you complete your financials, more efficiency will bring. That is my practical experience. That more efficiency it will bring. You can focus more on the operations if you complete your compliance part in time as soon as possible rather than waiting for the last dates. Another benefit is that by having the listing on the stock exchange, it will give you the indirect benefit. Whether you are approaching any organization or the company for the CSR funds or to any donor for your project, so you can quote that we are a listed company, fully compliant company. It is same like a listed company and difference between a private limited company. No doubt your credibility is going to increase. Your transparency need not any certificate or any face value to anyone. That is the major difference. That is the market differentiation come in. You are not among the 33 lakh NGOs. You will be among those 15 or 16 NGOs who got their project listed on the stock exchange out of those 33 lakhs. Today, we are not going to discuss the registration criteria. We are going for the listed one. So broad steps in the listing is, that is the first, we have to file the draft fundraising document. I will show you also one draft fundraising document, how extensive it is. We will discuss the content also in brief. You have to file, you have to select the project. Minimum size, issue size is 50 lakh rupees, and you have to prepare a draft fundraising document. It is just like the DHRP filed by the listed by the companies who are bringing their IPO and FPO. You have to select whether you have to go for the NSC or BSC. You have to appoint a registrar to the issue and the depositories to the issue. For 21 days, the DFRD will be on your website as well as on the website of the stock exchange for the public comments. Meanwhile, stock exchange also scrutinize the DFRD for the minimum requirements to be disclosed, whether you have fulfilled those or not. They will share queries or clarifications, which you have to reply with. And after satisfaction of the stock exchange and incorporating any public comments, they will give the in principle approval. Once in principle approval is received, you have to appoint the bankers to the issue. And then we have to file the FFRD, final fundraising document, incorporating the suggestions given by the stock exchange. We have to open the escrow account also. The bottom part of my slide includes the advisor to issue is totally optional. If you have the bandwidth in day-to-day operations, you can do it very own. The documents are available on the NSC website. Also, Unnati Foundation has given all the sample documents, whatsoever their listing documents on their website, which Ramaswamy sir will discuss post my session in the second part of the session. So how it works? The stock exchange come up with a zero coupon, zero principal instrument. What does this mean? That every donor will get ZCZP units in their Demat account, and minimum subscription size is 1,000 rupees only, and issue size is only 50 lakhs. The ZCZP means you need not to pay any interest, nor you have to return the principal. It will be only the units credited into the Demat account of the donors for the period the project is ongoing. I'll share with you. Yeah. The requirement in the JEDC DFRD. DFRD to be published, as I mentioned, on the website for 21 days. It will be open for the public comment. SSC has to provide the observation within 30 days of filing the DFRD or is SSC also has given their checklist. What are the minimum disclosure requirement? You have to give the activity or the intervention you want to bring. That is the vision statement of the project, and it should be in line with the objects in your constitution. If you're a Section 8 company, in your memorandum or the articles, it should be mentioned as the main object, project trust or society. In your document, it should be bylaws, it should be mentioned. Then target segment, that you have to mention in the DFRD, which has to increase reach to accomplish planned activities and intention to improve inclusion for customer or recipient. Third, you have to disclose the strategy. Fourth, you have to give the details of the governing body composition and the board meetings. That is the governance part. You have to disclose in the DFRD. You have to disclose the key management personnel who are in charge of that project. Roles and responsibilities, including the performance appraisal, that you have to mention in the DFRD. There is a minimum disclosures which you have to make. And it is a very stringent document. I will share with you. These are available on the NSC website also for your reference. But today's session, I am going to discuss that also with you. Organization should have a physical existence. Then last 3 year financials to be disclosed. 3 years annual audited accounts you have to give. You have to give the credibility section, your registration certificate, trust deed, a PAN number, 12A, any ongoing scrutiny, FCRS certificate, etc. Everything you have to provide in the DFRD document. You have to share the risk. What can be the risk on the DFRD? Now I will show you one DFRD document. Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So this is the draft fundraising document. Just a sample for your information that this is a around 150-page document, 120-page document. It may go to 120 or 150 depending on the intent or the matter you have to disclose. But what are the minimum requirements are there? That is the DFRD document. So here, this you can see, once you see the IPO or the DHRP, the prospectus, then you will see same kind of newspaper headings you can feel, and the same kind of para is here. The main in the first page only, that public issue by trust of zero coupon, zero principal instruments, face value of ₹1 each, aggregating up to ₹1 crore issue size, like that. So you have to mention the main crux in the one para, that under which regulation this issue has been come up. Then we have to get the trustees who are the trustee of the NGO. We have to give the general risk statement. We have to see the coupon rate, coupon payment frequency, which is zero coupon, zero rate. We have to see the credit rating, if any, is there for the zero coupon. If not applicable, we have to give the not applicable. We have to see whether it is a listing on the NSC or BSC. Then public comments are invited. It is open for the public comment for a period of 21 days. Then we have to give the name of the registrar of the issue, the advisors to the issue, and the statutory auditor explanation. This is on the first page. The issue open and issue closes will be the blank. When we will get the in principle approval, we will fill in these things in the FFRD document only. Then there will be a table of contents, which is the definitions, abbreviations, conventions and financial industry and market data currency of presentation, forward-looking statement, special section on the risk factors. Then we have the general information, what are the objects of the issue, what is the business of the organization, what is the history. So historical data you also have to mention along with your main objects. You have to disclose the management, the governance part, then you have to give the financial information and any material developments. Any legal information, if there is any ongoing litigations of the NGO, that also you have to mention. Other regulatory and statutory disclosures you have to mention. Meaning thereby, this document gives the whole history and credibility about the organization. You need not to go and explain to anyone what is ongoing. And but I mentioned in the beginning also that if you list one project, it gives you a credibility certificate itself among others. Indirect benefits are more. You need not to explain your credibility to any company when you are seeking any CSR funding or any donor outside the stock exchange also. Purpose of stock exchange is to get the crowdfunding channelized to this. Today we are donating based on the face value of the chief or the person in the NGO. And this is a step so that each and every person can compare what is the impact of 1 rupee they are donating. Sections 8 is also providing the trust deed, key provisions, and then metal contracts and documentation that also is there. So here you can see the definitions are there. Stock exchange, ZC, ZP, all the definitions are available. These are the common definitions which has to be made. Then there will be the convention of financial use, presentation of the financial information, that what is your financial year, whether you are following the calendar year or the financial year, you are preparing your accounts under the Indian GAAP, who has audited that account. Then what is the currency, whether it is the Indian currency, what are the forward-looking statements, and the disclaimer on that also you have to mention on this part. Then the risk factor, that is also important because you are bringing a project on the exchange. What are the risks involved to implement that project? That you have to identify, and these risk factors are divided into internal risk factors, like that maybe a non-profit reduction of discontinuation donations or grants we receive may have adverse effect on the operations of our foundation. Change in financial position of our donors, financial management and regulatory risk is there, data privacy. Then external risk factor is also you have to mention. Operational risks are also there. Risk related to ZC, ZP instruments, tenure, termination, repayment, there is no repayment required. Then we come up with the general information section where you have to give your registered office address, you have to give your compliance officer, CFO, and etc. what I mentioned. Then we have to mention about the escrow collection amount of bank, who will be the bank. Bank can be appointed later on. So we have to mention that it will be given in the final fundraising document. We have to give the information about the stat auditors. We have to give if any advisor we have appointed. So we have to give the advisors to the issue information also in the DFRD. If the issue is underrated, then we have to say if this issue is underwritten or this is not underwritten. Any guarantor to the issue, we have to disclose that. What is the minimum subscription? That also we need to mention here. Issue open zone, issue disclosed on, donations, last 3 years donations. We have to mention the history of the last 3 periods. What we will do with the issue proceeds. So here important part is that whatsoever issue related expenses are there, you can claim it within the issue amount. So net proceeds will be utilized for the main object or for the purpose. You can also give the breakup how you are going to utilize, but means what you are going to spend on the objects, what is the breakup on the admin part, that also you can provide in your DFRD, so that the donors will be aware that in the net what you are going to invest on the project. We have to mainline, we have to give the experience with the area, then funding plan, monitoring plan, interim use of proceeds. This is all mentioned. Then in the final fundraising document, you can see this is a breakup given. For the issue related breakup, you have to give, not in the DFRD, but in the final fundraising document, that what are the fees you have paid to the intermediaries, what is the fees payable to the regulators, what are the advertising expenses you have made, and other miscellaneous expenses you have made. You have to give this breakup also in the final fundraising document, and that is available also on the NSC website, those who have successfully listed. NSC is also, Mr. Kosal is not here today, but NSC is also giving rupees 5 lakhs on the successful listing of the first project. So most of your issue related expenses will be covered on your first listing, and that is the NSC. They are giving the building the ecosystem, promoting the NGOs who think that this is a unnecessary burden. But believe me, it is an ecosystem what we are building up to channelize in open a new funding channel to become the aware, to bring the awareness among the common person for the to come forward and donate generously. Here you see you have to give all the social media handles is also available. Then you have to give your history, what you have done in the past, your vision, mission, whatsoever responsibility, what are the partnership you have made, what is your credibility statement, what is your footprint. So about the corporate donors who are your donors earlier. So everything you have to mention, meaning thereby that you have to give a lot of details about the organization, that any person who is going to read this or can compare between the two NGOs and then can bring donate wherever they want. One more thing I want to, main object of our trust is also given here. What is the full history is there for the last 3 years. There is a full history is available for the foundation. Then about the management section. Then about the profile of the management, you can see who are the founders, what is their education level, how they are educated, who is the handling your funds or the donations. That also the donor can be aware of. Any remuneration is given to the trustee, that also you need to disclose upon here only. Then whether they are meeting or not on the regular intervals or it is only on the papers, that also you have to see. All the information is available. Then you have the financials, audited financials also in the fundraising document itself. So this is a brief about the DFRD. It's a long, then this part is basically related to the procedural. If there is oversubscription, how we have to dealt with that oversubscription of the issue procedure part is also there. So this is what we have on the stock exchange, the DFRD document mainly. Any questions so far?
Maybe we can take up the questions at the end, please. Carry on.
Yeah, okay. Thank you. Thank you, sir. So this is the mainly points where we have to raise the DFRD and bring the funds to the list our NGOs on the social stock exchange. And now I can hand over it to Mr. Gupta again.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mr. Tile, for giving a very comprehensive listing as well as the process description for listing of NPOs on the social stock exchange. I would now request Mr. Ramesh Swami, founder director from Unnati Foundation, to kindly talk about his experience and journey of having done 3 listings, remarkable journey that the organization has had under his stewardship. So I would request him to kindly share his practical perspectives on the listing on the social stock exchange. Over to Mr. Swami, sir, please. Thank you.
Thank you. Good morning to all the people who are on the call today. There was a question asked, why are people not doing it? And let me start with that. Why did we do it? Just flip the whole thing. Let's understand, because Gupta ji talked about credibility. Yes. Today, I don't know whether it has worked fully, whether the credibility quotient attached to the SSC is 5%, 10%, 20%, 50%, I don't know. But yes, those who know about it, probably it is in the range of 80 to 100%. For people who don't know it, maybe 5%. Right? So the aspect was, when it came up, we said, we believe that this is a great platform for building credibility, number one. So we started off. My advice to all the people who are involved will be that, first of all, start working in back end, make things all right, because the DFRD may seem a very ordinary document. Of course, it's a 120 page, 140 page document, but many things it may seem very simple. But when you actually go into the details of it, and when the lawyer asks you finer details on each aspect, it becomes a serious document. It becomes a very serious document. It is not about just the language, it is the entire essence of the organization. So you have to start working backward so that your house is in order and you are ready to do it. So when we took it up in the initial phase, we said we have nothing to hide, let's do it. And that was the way we went into registration. We did registration, we did not know where the money will come. So we kept quiet for the listing. But because in one of these kind of meetings, a few people said, we will support you. And that said, okay, great, let's attempt listing. And it turned out to be that we became the first. So it was a great thing to be the first. You had a lot of work to do. Every step was filled with hurdles. But I tell you, we were supported by people like Trilegal, Big Share, all on almost pro bono basis. Trilegal was pro bono basis. Unitas Capital on pro bono basis in the first. Everybody was excited about it, right? And Big Share extended every support as an RTA. So we could actually make it, but it requires a lot of hard work. It requires a lot of documentation effort. It is something which you must be committed for. It's like saying you want to run a marathon of 21 kilometers. You cannot start running on the day of the marathon. You need to be practicing it for 6 months or 8 months or 9 months before you run the marathon on that day, right? Same is the case with listing. You need to be working for every detail is asked for. The lawyer is going to ask you every detail, the minute details, and he is going to ask you. If he does not ask you, and you think you have escaped from the lawyer, your lawyer, the NST or FBSC or SEBI is going to ask you. So do not try to, say, okay, I can adjust with this person. No use adjusting with that person. you will end up somewhere else. So it is like our Bangalore traffic, There's a bridge which is built, that bridge you will escape and then you will end up in one more point where you will wait for 20 minutes. So what have you escaped? Nothing. Right? So that is how it is. So you need to be understanding that part of it. For a listing, you must have a lawyer. I would not recommend anybody to go without a lawyer. The legal fees you pay, yes, you can always adjust it against the amount you receive. It is allowed. The impact assessment will happen. That fees can be adjusted. So all these are the RTA cost. CDSL. Rakesh ji gave a phenomenal details of every aspect of it. One of the things which was missed out is probably the NSDL and CDSL cost. You have to necessarily do it in both because you don't know where your investor, the donor, is coming from, whether he has a CDSL or he has an NSDL. So invariably, you have to have a tripartite with your RTA, CDSL, and yourself, and NSDL and RTA and yourself. So that becomes a compulsory thing. So their charges will be there. So these are some of the charges which get debited. Now, so one, it was on base of credibility. When we started, we said, yes, the credibility will go up, or we will be, no, CSR will ask us, are you credible? Nothing of that sort has happened. Yes, there are definitely improvements. We are shouting, whether they hear or not, or ask or not. We shout, we are on the SSC. So please understand, all our books is in order. That is one part of it. The second part of it, which we felt very great, and what is making us today, I'm on the seminar today. I've been invited, right? We are ordinary. We are a very small organization, and we have been there. Nobody knew us. But what this SSC has done is we have become a mainstream organization in the country. We are recognized. It's a very big recognition. If I had spent lakhs and lakhs or something, I still would not have been able to get this publicity. So that's the second part. The third part, which personally I feel we have achieved, and it's a great thing for any founder, anybody in the organization, is the internal housekeeping, the internal rigor, discipline, which has come into the whole aspect. Right? Today, my entire staff knows that it has to be ready by this time. They work on that. The systems are there in that. So there's a huge amount of support system which is required to maintain it, and that support system has got excited. That support system is working on its own, and that's a great thing to happen for an organization, right? So these are some of the definite advantages which we have seen. We used to struggle, like Rakesh ji said, last day of the filing, the auditor is signing. Today, the auditor says, oh, you are on SSC, I must take care. Okay, that's a different story, that he charges me more. That's a different aspect, but it happens, right? So there are a lot of advantages which has happened, may not be direct, maybe indirect. We believe why second, why third, we want to be there. We want to be continuously doing the right things in-house. So we raise a small amount of money each time. We are also very optimistic that this platform could become a very big platform in the coming years, right? Does the government look at it seriously? Is the government pushing for it seriously? I only wish Dr. Gupta was there heading the whole thing, and the SSC would have gone to some great levels by now, because the way he has been promoting, the way he has been pushing people and NGOs, it's been amazing hard work from his side. So there are, I am just comparing a situation of CSR, which came in 2013, how it has become so important, so sensitive. It's something which the entire company looks at it now, right? That kind of a situation over the years will happen to SSC. And that is when people like us will be really benefited. Today, I still feel that the focus has been on the NGOs, NPOs to talk about listing, to tell them about it. If I were in the marketing department of SSC, I would be concentrating on the donors. Because the moment donors are sensitized, the moment donors realize that being in SSC is an amazing thing for an NPO and they have done the hard work and I should support such organizations. If that process starts, automatically the NPOs will come to the SSC. It's like the bee coming near the honey, right? We as NPOs will always look where's the money and then go towards that. So I believe that the sensitization of the donors is very important, which is critical, A donor, a CSR person, a company today, the CFO, the company secretary may understand that SSC is very big. He may understand because he will still think it is not commercial, but it is as commercial as anything else, right? Rakeshji mentioned about it. The regular platform where you do your IPOs, where the MSME does the IPOs, same platform is there for SSC. We have to adhere to all the rules, right? There are certain basics which are relaxed, like a peer review is relaxed, or some few things which are relaxed. But otherwise, you are on the same platform. It is as difficult as anything else. So this is something which we believe in the years to come will take shape. With regard to the listing, every document which we make are there on our website, unnatiblr.org under SSC. NGO can simply download it, change the names, and file it. It's that easy. Every document detail is being put there. And by chance, if you don't find something, you write to us, we'll share it with you. That is not a problem. I would appreciate, I think, it is better to answer a lot of queries which you will have, which are related, which is important, right? So this is definitely be prepared for a 2 to 3 months of hard work minimum, and then another probably 20 days to get all the other things ready, and then the money comes to your account. So you need to be there. Second thing, today, at least make sure your 75% of the amount is guaranteed, it comes through, because if you don't collect that, all your 3 months, 4 months effort goes waste. So it's a very, very important thing, right? And you need to make sure. So today, so what is the use, sir? I am bringing my own donor. I am bringing my own person to contribute here. If he contributes directly to me, I don't have to spend money. The entire money comes to me. Here I am spending a lot of money on various things. So these are some of the questions which will keep hitting your mind as an NPO. I don't have an answer except that I'm saying it is worth losing that money. It is because you will be in the limelight, you will get a publicity which is probably equivalent to that amount, right? Which is that's how you need to look at it. That you get a credibility which is equivalent to that amount. So there are advantages of it. Those who don't want to go to the rigor will question these things. Those who are ready to go through the rigor will look at it positively. So you can look at both sides, whichever way you want to do it, right? So I would love to engage in questions which you could come up. At the last, I will definitely take this platform to talk about various things which can happen if it doesn't come up in the questions. That what the SSC can do in future, so that it becomes really attractive and more NPOs and people come and join. That suggestions I will give it at the last. For now, I will take any questions. Me and Rakesh ji and Gupta ji are all here, so anyone can take up questions. I think I've covered what most of you would have thought of it as important.
Thank you
Yes,
so
sir.
much, Mr. Swami. Open for questions now. There were a few questions in the chat box which we have responded. Any further questions from any one of the participants? Three of us would be very, very pleased to attempt to answer those questions and clarify your queries, if any.
Yeah, the minimum size is 50 lakhs.
50 lakhs,
That's the minimum size. And so when 50 lakhs, 75% of it is 37.5 lakhs. So the minimum amount you need to collect is 37.5 lakhs. If you don't do that, it fails, right? So you have to make sure that you have that money collected.
So there is a Social Stock Exchange Advisory Committee of SEBI, of which I also happen to be a member. Maybe I can share with the participants some things which are on the anvil, not yet notified, but something which is going to come shortly. The time period for listing after registration, which is currently 2 years, is proposed to be extended to 3 years, enhanced to 3 years. Not yet notified by SEBI, but I'm just sharing it with you. This is what has been discussed actively in the Social Stock Exchange Advisory Committee meeting. Similarly, the minimum subscription, which as of now is 75%, is also proposed to be brought down to 50%. We are yet awaiting final notification from SEBI, but these two things have been actively discussed, debated, and deliberated in the Social Stock Exchange Advisory Committee meeting. Yes, Mr. Balaji, please, you have some questions.
Yeah,
Yes,
Rajkumar.
I just had the follow-up question to the comment I posted. I got the point. It is about 50 lakh, which is minimum. But I also heard Mr. Swami say there is quite a lot of effort involved. So, is 50 lakh still a justifiable amount to go through all these process, or should we look for a bigger size project to even recommend to some of my clients? I've been working with some of the NGOs as well. We are focusing mainly on the carbon footprint side of things.
Yeah.
So would like a 1 crore, 2 crore, 3 crore, would that actually justify a listing instead of starting at 50 lakhs?
So it's depending on the NPO, right? How much money they can raise internally. Because ultimately, as I told you, the first 75% invariably has to come through your own sources. It's like any other startup, family and friends, and so you have to make sure that this 75% comes. So many NPOs will think, why should I? At least we think that way. I say if I have to bring in 1 crore, 75 lakhs has to come from within through my own donors. Why should I take that much trouble? I would rather stick to 50 lakhs, bring in 35, 37 kind of lakhs, and then take the balance. So each person will have its own thinking cap on. So there is no restriction that you cannot do 2 crores. Now Swadesh and all had planned 20 crores. They took the first 10 crores. So there are many. NSDC is going to come up, and they are much smaller amount. So they should be running into 100 crores, but maybe they are just testing water. So there are a lot of reasons which go into it. So I would only recommend based on the NPO strength and what they feel comfortable. That should be the criteria for doing it, because the project, whether you do a small project of 50 lakhs and separately also continue to do the project of 3 crores, the project is getting evaluated. So I don't have to worry. When I talk to a customer, I will say my project gets evaluated irrespective of the amount involved. So that's how I would present it, right? That's the way I would present it. The advocate is there in Bangalore also. Of course, Trilegal is there. There are many advocates who are in Bombay, and I don't think it is of any significance where the advocate is based. Frankly, I don't see any special advantage whether they are based in Mumbai or in Bangalore, because most of the work happens online. Nobody goes to the NSC or BSC to discuss. Nobody is allowed also. Nobody can go also. So it doesn't work. It's all on the mail. It happens. So I don't see that as a very important prerequisite. Yeah, what are the requirements? Listing with net worth, a period of operations. Yeah, 3 years, that eligibility and all that.
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you so much. I may just add to what Mr. Swami mentioned to your question. We do awareness programs on social stock exchange pan India for various NPOs. In fact, many of the NPOs have asked us to give suggestion to SEBI to reduce the threshold of 50 lakhs. They say we are smaller NPOs, so 50 lakhs are too high for us. Why don't you give suggestion to SEBI? You are part of the advisory committee to bring this limit down. I mean, there are all kinds of views in the marketplace, but then SEBI, in their wisdom, as of now, has decided to keep the threshold at 50 lakhs. You never know, they may decide to change it either upside or downside moving forward. But as of now, they have kept that kind of minimum threshold of 50 lakhs.
So, Paragji, your question whether you would prefer CSR or ZCZP?
Yes, sir. In terms of impact, sir, like
Yeah.
when you're looking at impact that Unnati makes from a long-term perspective, all things being equal, I know there are challenges, but if they were equal, would you prefer CSR? Does it give you a better perspective on long-term impact or ZCZP, sir?
So I will put it this way. It has to be a combination. It is ZCZP is an additional source of revenue. I don't talk of one source, right? CSR is one source, ZCZP is another source. So what is the difference between the two? ZCZP, like Guptaji or Rakeshji said, it is a continuous money. The money has already come to you. You are able to use it.
Right, sir.
CSR, invariably today, it's a big problem. Most of them want it finished by 31st of March. Nobody is looking, bulk of them don't look at multi-year. And then the next problem is they will come on 29th of March and say, I want the FUC on 31st of March.
Exactly,
So,
sir.
so there are issues of that nature also.
Yeah.
So it is never to be looked at as this against that. It has to be a combination of various.
So if I had to just relay that to you for my understanding, shorter impact projects could be CSR, the longer term could be ZCZP, and you kind of keep balancing both depending on the NGOs.
Absolutely.
You could look at it that way.
Thank you
Absolutely.
so much, sir.
But
Thank
the impact, see, in the case of, like I said, I want to repeat the statement because it's a very important thing. Your project under ZCZP can be a smaller portion of the bigger project of the same nature which you do, right?
Yeah.
Your audited thing of whether, see, it's like this: you taste a spoon or taste the entire bowl, it's going to taste the same thing, right? So you are getting the audit done for the small piece, but it actually applies for the whole project, right? So that is the advantage. You are able to project it to a donor. You say that, sir, you are giving me 3 crores, but this 50 lakhs and 3 crores are the same project. And the impact for 3 crores and for 50 lakhs is being done by external auditors to use the same yardsticks, right? So I get that advantage.
Thank you so much, sir.
Sorry, can I ask one more question, please?
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Yes.
Yes, sir. Please get.
Yes, Balaji.
The ZP, ZD is a nice concept, right? But in this materialistic world, everybody likes to get some kind of a return, right? If not material, could it be intangible? For example, green credits, right? Carbon credits. So that is more sustainable for the environmental project. But if it's a social project, so I recently completed a course with CSR and Sustainable Development at TERI. So where we are talking about social return on investment, SROI. So is there any concept of SROI in your projects that can be given to the donors, which they can monetize in the way they want, not specifically for in rupees, but it for goodwill, for example?
Guptaji, you want to take the question? Or
I know we are looking at various alternatives. Thing is being discussed, deliberated at all levels. I mean, even amongst the SEBI advisory committee members, that in this materialistic world, zero coupon, zero principal may not really cut the ice with a view to bringing up SSC to the scale that we all want. So there has to be hybrid blended finance concept coming in, where you provide a decent, reasonable commercial return to the investors and donors, besides providing them opportunity of contributing to the greater cause for the benefit of planet and benefit of society. So SEBI is seriously looking at blended finance instruments, and hopefully something will come out within the next few months, maybe a year or so for that.
Brilliant. Looking forward to that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, there is so much which can be done. You know,
Yes.
the project can generate carbon credits. Suppose
Absolutely.
I'm doing a work on carbon credits, and I generate carbon credits. We should be able to sell this carbon credits to a company. Well, as an NGO, it doesn't make sense to me, right? It doesn't add any value. But if I'm able to sell this carbon credit to a company, and that company is spending CSR money to purchase these carbon credits, these are some of the great things which can come out through SIBs and development bonds, etc. I think those are some of the great things which we should be looking forward, maybe 5 years down the line, maybe 2 years.
No, it's already happening. So we are actually working with some of the NGOs in the Nilgiris, for example. Last Forest is a commercial arm. So I have, if anybody wants some information, I can reach out. So the startup I'm actually working with, they are actually a carbon credit certifier, and we have also found somebody who can actually buy those credits. So we're working on those concepts. So if anybody is interested, happy to share some information there.
Great, absolutely great.
I just sent you a private message, Balaji.
Any further views, comments, please?
My question is about registration.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir.
So there is a trust which fulfills all other criteria like 50 lakhs, 10 lakhs, etc. But now recently converted into a Section 8 company. So this 3 years existence, will it be considered as a continuous? Trust is about 25-year-old.
Yeah.
But now it is converted into Section 8 company, wants to go for registration as a Section 8 company.
I think this will work. This will work because you have been doing same kind of work, only the organization structure was different. And they allowed the earlier structure as well as Section 8 company also. I think
organization structure and change only. That is all.
No problem at all. I think you can go ahead.
I mean, the board, the trustees and all are not changed. The board, the trustees are not changed.
Trustees in the first year will not change, but afterwards they may change. There will be directors, right, in the Section 8 company.
That's okay, sir. You can go ahead with registration.
You can go ahead.
Yes.
Yeah, object should be the same for the trust as well as which are converting into the show.
Absolutely.
Objects should be the same. Yes. Objects are same.
And your financials also converted from the trust to society are also the same. But sure, assets are there in the trust, they have converted into Section 8 company as it is.
Yes, sir. Conversion. Not separately.
Yeah. It will work, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
Any other questions, please? Any other views? Or else then thank you very much, all of you, for joining us for this webinar. I mentioned my contact details in the chat box. Any one of you wanting to reach out to us for any further queries or whatever observations you may have, you're most welcome, and look out for the next webinar that we are going to shortly plan. Yes, sir.
Give me 2 minutes.
Can we hear Rameshji's perspectives on proving SSC, please?
Because I am putting this across to you time and again, just with the hope that something good will happen.
No, sir. Please, sir.
So one is, of course, you have mentioned that in a country like ours, some benefit everybody expects.
Yes,
but something which is not very difficult for the group to look at and say, yes, we will do this is, there is a compulsory audit which has to happen for all NPOs.
Yeah.
From the company side, if they are giving for a project more than 1 crore every year.
That's right.
Now, I will give you a scenario. A company is having 10 organizations and they are giving 1 crore to 10 organizations.
Yeah, that's right.
What happens is they have to conduct impact assessment for 10 organizations.
Right.
And when a company asks the impact assessor to do an organization study, they will charge them anywhere between 5 to 10 lakh rupees.
Right.
Suppose you take 10 lakh rupees as a cost for a very big company.
Yeah.
They have to spend 1 crore on the assessment, impact
Right.
assessment,
Right.
which is down the drain because they feel, I don't require it, I know the organization, we have done it, we know the due diligence, everything in order, I don't require this, but I am forced to do it.
Yeah.
Right? Now what do? They simply say, I will do one thing, sir. I was
95.
giving you 1.5 crore. Now today I'll give you 99 lakhs or I'll
99.
give you 95 lakhs.
Right.
Right? Now, an NGO has suffered for no reason. Right? My request is, look at it and say, if you are an SSC listed something, we will not ask for compulsory audit from the company for 5 crores.
5 crores. Enhance the limit. Yeah.
Enhance the limit. Because you are doing all the due diligence, everything is done. This is because you should look at how are you going to promote SSC in a big
Sure,
way.
sure,
Right?
sure.
So that can become a very, very big thing going forward.
Noted,
And
sir.
as CSR company, everybody will start looking at it in a big way.
Noted, sir. Noted,
Right?
sir.
Please look at this aspect of it, and the fact that you must start concentrating on the donors side
Yeah.
to keep it. Rakesh ji can make the same presentation and tell how difficult it is for an NGO to manage listing, right? It's as simple as that for him. It is this side, he can flip it and say this is difficult and list it down. So that if people realize that it is difficult and they have taken the trouble, the company starts respecting the work, right? खाना बनाती है, that is not the point.
Yeah, that's
खाना बनाने में कितना effort जाता है, if we start realizing the husband is more compassionate to wife, right? So that kind of an attitude, if it can come, apart from the tax benefit and other things which are there, and we are all hoping that CSR, some percentage will come,
Yes, sir.
which
Yes, sir.
could open some floodgates.
Absolutely.
All those aspects are there. This is something, please look at it, sir.
Sure, sir.
We definitely look forward to that support.
Yeah, I have noted down all your suggestions, sir. We'll take it up appropriately with SEBI for this regard.
Thank you.
Are there some more questions in the chat box? What should be the financial credentials guarantee formalities for opening escrow account? What should be the compliance procedure in Darpan app? Rakesh ji, can you handle this?
Yeah, so for the escrow accounts, normally bank, your own say where you have the current accounts, then there you can open the escrow account with the bank. They have to give the agreement and they have charged some fee for that. So no formal guarantee or something is required for opening the escrow accounts there.
And you
Please
need to be on
negotiate.
Darpan.
Please
You need to be on
negotiate on
Darpan.
the escrow.
Yeah, for the escrow.
You
It's
need
for
to be on
temporary
Darpan
parking of the
portal. Is
funds.
that a mandatory requirement for listing?
Darpan portal, they definitely ask for the Darpan ID, and you have to open for, you have to go for it.
Okay, fine.
It is mandatory.
So thank you very much, all of you, for joining us. And it's been great deliberation that we all had. It's been learning on both the sides for all of us jointly and together, because it's an evolving concept. There's not much of clarity amongst any one of us for that matter. We all learn day in and day out by way of interaction, deliberation with other fellow colleagues and professionals. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Wish you
Thank
happy
you.
Diwali. Greetings to all.
Yes,
Happy
Mr.
Diwali,
Pratham,
sir.
you are mentioning something?
Happy